Welcome along. This is CADEsport's Lake Bend course. We're going to do one lap, 4.2 kilometres, starting off from a standing start. So we hit the first bend. You can see the speedometer there, the speed at around 30 kph, not enough to take the speedometer up into the red zone. So no chance of crashing on that first bend from a standing start. But when you come round on a second lap or subsequent lap, remember that you'll be coming down a big hill to that finishing line. Now, if you look up in the top left, you can see a map of the route, which looks like a pair of glasses, or perhaps two circles with a bit hanging down. And just below that is the profile. And you can see that there's a hill in the second sort of 2/3 of the course, and you come down into the starting line, so you could be doing just enough to crash on that corner. You see here 42 kph, but well away from the red, so you'll have to be doing a lot faster than that to stand any chance of crashing. As I say, look at your speedometer. The red zone is where if you're going around a corner at that speed you'll crash. The green is how fast you're going, and the white in the middle is the gap between the green and the red. So I don't think there'll be much chance of crashing on this corner, apart from where you've really got speed up. There are a couple of instances where it comes close, but I think you'll have to be pretty unlucky to crash on this. But you still need to make use of the steering. As we can see here, I'm hugging the inside line as we go up around a sweeping bend, very gradual bend, sweeping out to our right, but I've got to steer into the middle of the road here to get round these riders here. I've probably oversteered that slightly into the centre. I don't need to be that far over to get around them, so I'm losing a little bit because I could be tighter on the bend. But I recalibrated the steering just before this, made it very, very sensitive, and I'm probably oversteering at times at the moment as I get used to the new calibration that I've just set. I have to say it was more sensitive if you set it so that the movement was very, very slight. And I think, as I say, if you do the calibration, you'll see that you can calibrate it so you don't have to move it too much to move. So if you do that, I think it's more responsive, but as I say, I'm just getting used to it. As you can see, I'm wiggling around, over adjusting as we go around these two riders, then get round them and go back to the line before realising that actually the bend has started sweeping to the left, so I need to be on the left and use the steering again to get myself on the left. Now you'll see the yellow blob is just about to embark upon the beginning of that climb that I talked about, which takes up the middle section of each lap here. You can see the gradient here is 4%. We did a little bit of 2% earlier, and then it flattened out, but we're on the 4% section. This is pretty much 4% all the way to the top now, and once we get to the top you've got that finish, which is very, very fast finish, going down the hill to the finishing line. So we're 2 kilometres in, 2.1 kilometres in, halfway at the moment on this 4% gradient, hugging the inside line. You can say it's a very, very, very gradual bend here. So as I say, the red only just appearing on the speedometer in the bottom centre there, just below the wheel of the bike. So 4% steadily to the top, then it flattens out, goes along with some rocks and mountains on the right, the lake on the left, and the as you can see, this is it sort of kind of sweeps around the lake. It's called Lake Bend because that's what it does. It goes around the lake. Very sweeping bends, as I say, so unlikely to crash. You can see a little bit of red on the speedometer right down the bottom, but there's no chance of us getting there. We're on to the flat bed at the top with the rocks on the right. This is again sweeping bend where you want to kind of be on the left hand side, but you can see just ahead where the rocks on our right sort of disappear. There's a bit of a headland. We go to the right, so we'll need to change lanes to take advantage of the inside a little bit later. You can see the water just to our left down there. This is the water we're circling, of course, and you can see the yellow blob on the course above is just that figure of 8, sort of on its side, if you like. just going down to the bit where the two bits of the 8 join. You can see it goes to the left here and then sweeps around to the right beyond that rock. So hugging the left-hand side of the road here, but moving over to take advantage of the inside just here, just a bit oversteering there as I get used to that calibration. Round here, and the descent will start very, very soon. There you go, minus 4% already. Speed over 50 kph now as we go over the bridge. Just watch out for some of the bends here. You're unlikely to crash, but you'll get closer than you think. It's still a sweeping bend, as you can see. The red just showing itself at the bottom of the speedometer. No chance of hitting the red right now at this moment, but just keep your eye on that, because if you do much more than this, there is a slight risk that you might crash, but as I say, very unlikely. As we steer out into the centre now, just to get around this other cyclist with only 500 metres to go, as we go down the bend, and you can see there, all of a sudden I'm going very, very close to the red, just touching the red at about 52 kph. So if you go much faster than that, you could get into the red and crash on this downward descent as we go towards the finishing line. Just 200 metres to go, minus 4.1%. And like I say, remember that as you go through the finishing line, which you can now see, you are about to hit a bend the other side of it, just here. Now I've stopped pedalling and I'm slowing down, so don't touch that red. But if you do really, really push yourself through the finishing line, that corner could be a risk. Good luck when you race it. Have fun.